This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit, this is the IT and the D Show.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
This is Max Headroom, and what you're about to witness is one of the most sinister-sounding intros to a trailer to one of the greatest epics ever.
It's I Love the 80s, and this is 1985.
It's yet another in a long series of diversions in an attempt to avoid responsibility.
1.21 gigawatts. Am I the meanest?
Sure enough.
Am I the prettiest?
Sure enough.
Am I the baddest mofo low down around this town?
Sure enough.
Hey guys, it's Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT&D Show.
By the way, why are we wearing bras on our heads?
Ceremonial.
First, you gotta do the truffle shuffle.
What happens when you tap the angry beaver in the bunghole?
Exactly. Come on, Christ. What the hell with this? I'm calling a break. We'll come back to the show.
You know, I could get used to a place like this. Got any pot?
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied. Let off some steam, Bennett.
Did I happen to mention, did I bother to disclose this man that we're seeking with a mole on his nose? I'm not sure of his clothes or anything else, except he's Chinese. A big clue by itself.
How do you do that?
Gotta read a lot of Dr. Seuss.
I've been going to this high school for 7.5 years. I'm no dummy.
I know you are, but what am I?
You're an idiot.
I know you are, but what am I?
What's up, everybody? This is Billy Zapka. Sweep the leg. Listening to IT and the D Show. No mercy.
You know, Terry was right. You are an asshole.
That asshole called me an asshole?
Oh, now you want to beat him up too, right?
No, I want to buy him an ice cream.
Doctor.
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 Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor?
Doctor.
Doctor.
And doctor.
If he dies.
Kiss my Converse.
I saw that in 3 different videos in a Levi's commercial.
You're in your underwear? I'm in my underwear. Here, let's hang out.
No, I'm sorry, honey, I have a headache.
I definitely want to see Bob in his underwear. That's a fact.
This is ice. This is what happens to water when it gets too cold. This is Ken. This is what happens to people when they get too sexually frustrated.
You know, there's going to be sex, drugs, rock and roll, chips, dips, chains, whips. You know, your basic high school orgy type of thing.
Are you always this forward?
Only with wet married women.
We got screwed at the same time. Yeah.
She's into malakas, Dino.
Yeah, well, maybe my balls don't itch.
All balls itch, it's a fact.
What's that to explain? I'm here and you're there. We don't fit.
Can you hammer a 6-inch spike through a board with your penis?
Not right now.
A girl's gotta have her standards.
It's just too big. It's way too big.
Show Dick some respect.
We just lost our clean tag on iTunes. This is Robert Hayes, a tit striker to my mother. When I'm not hanging out at the Magumbo bar, I'm listening to the IT and the D Show. It's worse than Detroit.
What's this, sir?
Drink it.
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, I drank what?
Is there such thing as a meat hangover?
I love my Monday meat stick.
Turn your microphone off. Just get out.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
I meant to do that. So it's sort of social. Demented and sad, but social, right?
Last year, I spent more money on spilt liquor than you made. Woo!
This was my dream, my wish. It didn't come true, so I'm taking it back.
I'll have a Coke.
Do you want that in the can?
No, I'll have it right here.
Hey, folks, this is WWE Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're listening to the IT and the D Show. Tough guy. Ho! Give me a keg of beer.
So, what would you little maniacs like to do first?
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do?
Ludicrous speed! Go!
I gotta catch up on so many movies, it's not even funny.
What the nostalgia? What do three IT guys talk about when they go to the bar? Well, you found the show. This is the IT and the D show. We are sitting here live in the Raw Radio X studios in the Russell Industrial Center in beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. As always, the show is hosted by myself, Bob, the sales guy. We're here with Dave the Geek, Jeff, the voice of reason. This is episode 85. Unstinking believable. You can find us online, itandthed.com, Twitter /IT&D. If you got some tweets when the live show, we'll read them out loud. Facebook /IT&D. And by all means, go to iTunes and leave us a review. I think we have 12. That is unacceptable for the listening audience we have.
Sorry, we're still waiting for tried the falafel, gave me diarrhea. That's what we're waiting for.
Worst meatball sandwich ever. Oh, we want that one too?
We want worst meatball sandwich ever. We want
that one didn't get approved?
I hope so, yeah. No, we want our clean tag still. Considering that intro, man, we're teetering on finalists. Hey, let's take care of some business real quick. There's two things. No, we got if you listen to the show before Wednesday, April 1st, we have our first Wednesday social downtown Detroit at the Firebird. If you it used to be called Maryland's on Monroe. It's like right across the street from Old Shillelagh. We're gonna have a social. We got the whole upstairs, all to us. We already got like more RSVPs than we ever get for our other ones.
We've had almost as many RSVPs for this as we did for our freaking pink slip party, which makes me a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie.
So we're doubling up on our monthly events as if we have more free time than we need to.
Yeah, because our wives don't hate us enough. That's what that boils down to. But no, I mean it comes down to we listen. It's just like back in the day. Actually, the start of it back in the day was on Wednesdays. We were Wednesdays, Post Bar, Ferndale.
Yep.
And people went, Wednesdays? And we said, all right, well, let's try Thursdays.
And then it was $2 beer night.
Ferndale, and we were like, all right, well, let's go Blackfin.
That was the true purpose of that.
Yeah, and so it is what it is. And so we're actually going a little bit back to our roots, switching back to a Wednesday night. But, we've heard from people that, what, Thursday nights I got my kids. Thursday nights I got school. Thursday nights I got this. It doesn't work. Da-da-da-da. So we've taken all your excuses off the table.
Right.
It's a Wednesday night. It's Firebird Tavern. And it is downtown. One of the things that we're trying to do more of is not just more events, but more events downtown as well. So, I mean, that's part of the fun.
What was their thing that I had? It was the Gyro pierogies that were awesome.
Oh, they were
they weren't pierogies?
Kebabs. It was the
shawarma wannabe.
Yeah, good though.
It was like the gyro meat, but inside a pierogi.
Yeah,
it was. Wow.
A Euro pierogi.
Yeah. All right, well, you might have been right.
Ding.
First time for everything.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, we're 2 for 2 on sponsors. Last week we had Audible. I'm real proud to say we have a new sponsor. So, you did that WDIV thing right before the Pink Slip party, right? And I had a beard going like I've never had in my life. I decided I'd grow a big, huge beard. Dave said you might have to be on TV because I can't make it. So I'm like, crap, I got to shave. So I made a phone call, and if you guys know about Harry's.com, Harry's Shave Kits, we've ended up in a partnership with them.
Yeah, Harry's.com, it's actually a completely safe for work site. It's
no, but
not backed by your IT department.
I didn't have razors, and I freaked out, so I told my wife bring home some Gillette the Pro Glides. And she goes, "Oh my God, those things were $42. Are you kidding me?"
Because far be it from you to actually
go to
get
the
your
store.
Ass off your couch,
yeah,
and go to Meijer by yourself.
No, it's not happening. You mess up something once, and then forever.
This ties back into last week with the little glitter mail that now I got to make my wife.
Absolutely, absolutely. I provide in other ways. So she goes, "Why?" I go, "What?" She goes, "These were $42." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So. Harry sent me a kit, and this thing was sweet. It looked like a loot crate. When you open the thing up, it was professional as heck. Stainless steel handle, lotion, shaving cream. So what we're doing is we got a deal with them. If you the starter kit's $15, it gets you a razor, 3 blades, and you get some shave cream or some gel. And if you put coupon code IT in the D,
what code?
Coupon code.
There's still no Q in that word.
Coupon. You can call it a coupon, whatever code. You can. Okay, we just.
How about let's just use discount code from now on.
Discount code. IT in the D all together. IT in the D. See, you missed that. I just set you up for all together.
IT in the D.
Thank you. So if you put coupon code IT in the D, you get $5 off. So $10. It's about 2 months worth of razors.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like I played around with, I opened the box, I checked it out, I gave it a good trial run.
Yeah.
They're
nice.
Not bad at all. Like I'm gonna keep doing it. In fact,
Absolutely.
I'm looking at it as like gifts and like stupid little one. I mean, granted, there will still be the bag of dicks that go to certain people, but Harry's starter kits are going to be a close second for people I actually like.
Well, what do you buy your 42-year-old brother-in-law? Like
exactly,
you're getting Harry's shape kit. So it's HARRYS.com. Harry's coupon code IT and the D, $5 off. So $10 for a couple months worth of razors. Give them a shot.
Yeah,
appreciate the support.
Very cool.
So yeah, no, I mean, so we did. We had a lot of stuff going on. Like I, didn't even get an email blast out last week with all the fun chaos that was happening. But no, so we've got our first Wednesday event will be on the 1st, and no, even though it's us,
first on the 1st,
the first Wednesday.
Awesome.
It's not an April Fool's joke. We really will be there.
No, here's we wanted to do.
It's a first.
Too bad the show didn't fall on April 1st because we've been talking about it for almost a whole year.
Oh, dude, I had jazz music all queued up, and it was going to be today on the IT in the D.
We got bought by NPR.
That's right. Now brought to you by NPR.
Oh, didn't we use that joke thing like Quicken Loans purchases IT in the
I
day?
only posted that back in our messenger chat. So
No, I think you were waiting for it for April 1st. Oh, we can still use it. Hopefully nobody listens to the podcast. Jokes on them. Nobody's done a good prank on April Fools for a long. Like, when's the last one? I don't remember.
It's usually Google.
Yeah,
that everybody falls for and nobody pays attention to.
Right. No, oh my God, the internet's
the internet broke. But yeah, so April 1st we'll be over at Firebird Tavern, and then April 16th we'll be back at, I think it's the 16th. We'll be back at whatever the third Thursday is.
Blackfin.
Yep,
Blackfin,
we'll be back at
room.
home base, Blackfin back room. So yeah, we're doubling down to try to make life better for people. So
I think
support us or die.
I think all the people that work downtown are excited for Wednesday's event.
That's probably the RSVPs, yeah.
Yeah, they can just walk there.
And hey, you know what? Speaking of people that work downtown, got to give a little shout out. Just found out that one of our favorite people took a dive off her bike and gave herself a concussion. Erica, sweetheart, get better. Take care of yourself. She's laid up in the hospital, like had the whole, admission bandage and the whole 9 yards.
Yikes!
Yeah, they're like giving her CAT scans and everything. So
that's nuts.
Yeah,
take one more reason why I won't get on a bike anytime soon.
Because you needed one more reason.
Right? No,
you needed a reason.
One of the regional managers by us broke his collarbone, punctured his lung. We're like, oh my God, man!
On a bike?
Yeah.
How fast was he going?
He was mountain biking, went over the top of the handle, hit something. Jeez, are you kidding me?
But yeah, so Erica, get better.
Yeah, all the best to you.
So let's talk. Let's see. We've got. We could go pop culture. We have the Walking Dead finale was last night,
and WrestleMania.
We can talk about Walking Dead finale was last night,
right?
Which by and large, mixed reviews. Like I've become a crack addict with that show.
How do you not like it?
It's not that I didn't like it. I thought they left a lot of it. Like they took the meh way out.
Well, let me ask you this: has it gone the way of Lost, where Lost?
I never watched a single episode.
No, I know you didn't, but like a lot of people that were passionate about that show through season 1, season 2, kind of faded away from it season 3 because the writers kind of went sideways. Like, are they missing the point? Has it? I hate to use jump the shark type of thing.
It's absolutely gone the way of Lost, where they're trying to one episode
make it too clever.
One episode's blah, then the next episode's like, oh my God, best episode ever.
Well, I mean, but that's better than going the heroes route, which was like great season. What the hell did you do to my show?
Yeah,
for an entire season.
Matrix 2.
Yeah.
But so I never saw it. So I
honestly I won't just in case anybody's listening live and hasn't watched it yet, I won't throw out too many spoilers or anything. But I'm sorry that my favorite part of that entire episode was that you can apparently corral zombies by throwing a rave. Like that was my favorite part of the episode.
That was so stupid.
What?
So they were setting booby traps with zombies in trailers. And the way that they got them to go back in the trailers is that they would have flashing lights and
LaBouche was playing.
Yeah,
music.
Well, they're attracted to noise, right?
And so the zombies would shuffle up into them. So apparently, throw a rave, and if you build it, they will come. Yes, that was.
Well, I'm sitting there going how are they going to get all those clowns back in the trailers? And the LaBouche, be my lover, wanna be? And then they're like, oh, let's just follow that. It was so ridiculous.
So it has jumped the shark, is what you're saying.
It's entertaining still.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, it was still a good episode. I mean, it really, really was. It's just, for all the buildup of, is Daryl dying? Is Daryl not dying? Is Rick dying? Is Rick getting exiled? Is this? Is that? Is it? Yeah, like I said, I mean, they kind of took the, the route that I didn't expect.
Didn't you say they have like 3 spin-offs planned already or something?
They got one. They got the one that's coming out in L.A., which I think is going to be phenomenal because I mean they can just use like live footage of what goes on in Hollywood.
They just set up a camera on any corner.
Exactly. Oh look, there's Lindsay Lohan without makeup. Is that a zombie or is that?
I'm starting to watch like Better Call Saul too. And it's one of those things where you want to like it so bad because the characters, but it just isn't Breaking Bad. And I got the feeling that these spin-offs are going to be the same thing, right? It's going to be the Cleveland Show. It's going to be
pretty much
which fell down, went boom.
What spin-off have ever been successful? Oh, Different Strokes is a spin-off.
Well, all of the ones from All in the Family were pretty much successful. There was the Jeffersons.
That
there
was
was
from
Maude,
All in the Family.
There
That's
was,
right.
Yeah,
but,
all of them.
Yeah.
Was it which one was Different Strokes, the spin-off of
Silver Spoons, wasn't it?
No.
Different Strokes came from, was it Facts of Life?
It was Facts of
No,
Life. It was Mrs. Garrett.
I thought that was the same time. Oh, that's right. It was this.
Yep.
Oh, my God, screw me.
I forgot about that.
Take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and there you have it. Yeah.
Wow.
So in that same vein, so the 2 other items in that same genre that caught my eye is that the X-Files is coming back, and the nerd world lit themselves on fire because Mulder and Scully are coming back for a 6-episode arc.
The same people?
Yeah.
So I don't get it. Like, is it just going to be like a mini-series? Obviously 6 episodes.
I wonder what they're going to do with it after that, and they haven't announced it. But yeah, so I mean, Duchovny and Gillian Anderson are coming back for a 6-episode arc. And
Californication's gone. So.
Right, he's got to have something to do.
The second movie was terrible, right? Like, do they just I don't think that we're going to have enough money to actually budget a 3rd film, so let's just do TV.
I think it'll probably be from what I've gathered from watching the trailers for Terminator Genesis, they're just going to pretend the 3rd movie never happened,
right.
Which I'm perfectly okay with.
Yeah.
And they'll just go that route. And then during The Walking Dead, the one thing they were showing commercials for that I had no idea that they had done, those skeevy, evil, nasty, ridiculous bastards in Hollywood, they have gone and remade Poltergeist.
I did not see that.
And that is coming out in May.
Oh, I watched Walking on DVR, so I did not see. Oh,
yeah.
Is there any stars that we would know?
Not really, but what I'm finding interesting is they in the clip, in the commercial, they kept enough to keep it similar. There's a little girl at a TV going, "They're here," with all the static and all that stuff.
They couldn't get Drew Barrymore to do
Drew
cameo.
Drew Barrymore's daughter.
It wasn't Drew Barrymore. That was the little girl that did that. Carol Ann died. When they were
I'm sorry. That's right.
Too. Yeah,
I'm thinking of Firestarter.
Firestarter.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, Rung movie.
Right, and then they've got and then the clown in the son's bedroom, which was the big plot. Bob's not going to be watching that.
Yeah, no.
So there's that, but yeah,
free hugs.
It's coming out in May, and ick.
And it'll leave May 2nd.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm going to see Mad Max. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, when's that hit the theaters? By the way, summertime sometime.
May 15th.
Mark Larson. Speaking of which, from beer we're drinking from Delicious falling down.
Yes,
and went to their anniversary party on Saturday. I'm not going to lie, I was not sold on the Beer Mosa.
I can't believe you liked
when
it.
he was in here talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
They're really, really, really effing good.
Is it just half and half?
I don't know what the ratios were, but so I did the Vampire Bunnies, which was the cherry blonde with the orange juice.
Is that what he's calling it?
Well, no, the Vampire Bunnies is the cherry blonde,
yeah.
and then with the Beer Mosa was with that and the orange juice. And that was good. And then he came over and he was like, "No, dude, you got to try this one." And it was the Bourbon Barrel Ninja Chicken. And I was like, "No way, really?" And he was like, "Yeah, no, really." And it was phenomenal. They need to be open for Sunday brunch every freaking week. We sat because we had Friday night, which was what it was, and so I had the corned beef hash, and they had beer battered bacon, which was outstanding, and so there was some good greasy food, and then some beer and some it was outstanding. So kudos to Mark and the gang for being.
They should
open
do a
for
Mother's
2 years.
Day brunch.
They should just do a brunch every Sunday. I'm not going to lie. They were. I was floored by how good I thought those things were.
It's good stuff.
They call it brunch just so you can eat really, really greasy shit on
Right, and
purpose.
to get,
Pretty much.
it's acceptable day drinking.
Right.
It's brunch. No, it's
and not feel guilty about it.
Shot of tequila. It's only 11. Go ahead.
Everyone else is doing it.
What was this? We said that. Oh my God, we got to talk about that. What's going on in the world right now?
So there's the one that has got me like ridiculously pissed off right now is so apparently it's acceptable for cops to just scan your license plate and figure out if you have active insurance or not. Now, there's a couple problems with that scenario from my point of view. Number one, they don't know who's driving the car. Number two, they've said in the article that there's at least up to a 15-day lag on when the Secretary of State reports that information and when it actually gets into their systems. And number three, what in the ever-living ever happened to probable cause? Like, shouldn't they have to have a reason to scan your plates before you and go looking for something before? Like, shouldn't you have to do something before they can go look for something that you've done?
So let me paint a little story. I'll do this publicly instead of on Facebook where all my friends, I got pulled over.
Just you and I and our closest 180,000 friends.
180,000 of my closest friends. I got pulled over a couple weeks ago, and I was speeding. Right? And I admit it. And when I gave him license and registration, I gave him the Cadillac registration. Right? And I'm in a 2014 VW.
And you're in the VW.
And I give him registration for a 76 Cadillac, right? Yeah, no.
On purpose?
And he says, insurance. And I says, well, I got an app from State Farm. He goes, I don't want to see it. You don't have paper? And I go, well, why would they let me look at the insurance card on the thing? He goes, well, no, you got to have paper. And I'm like, oh, I don't have it then. So he sits in the car for, I swear, 20 minutes. He comes out and he goes, obviously this isn't a 76 Cadillac. I says, no. Well, oh my God, did I give you the wrong one? He goes, I checked everything out. You're good. And, I know you didn't have insurance, but I know you're good. And he goes, you 5 over, get out of here. I'm like, what do you mean I'm good? Like, the info, it's not like
how did that chain of events not lead to me getting shot?
Yeah. No, it's not like Skamads from Blues Brothers. No,
right.
He knew everything.
Yeah, the information that they can pull up on your vehicle and you is more than you are probably comfortable realizing.
Oh, no, it's absolutely more than I'm comfortable with. But I mean, like I said, to me, it's like I'm okay with that. Like, that's something, dude, you got stopped for speeding. Like, I'm good with that. It's now they can just like drive around and scan license plates and figure out who they might want to pull over because maybe there's something.
But they've been driving around and scanning license plates and logging all of that for like over a year now.
Well, so that was the freaky part. I mean, I shot you guys the article where from Oakland, Ars Technica did a Freedom of Information and got 4.6 million records. Like just rows of data about license plates and where they were and where they were scanned and where they found you and that.
They're tracking it,
and there's no data retention limits on it. There's no caps. They said there's no that data just grows and it's there for as long as they want it to be there.
What are you gonna do with it? That's my answer for everything.
Okay, well, worst case scenario, you've got Radio Shack who just filed bankruptcy and announced that they're selling all of their customer data as a part of the bankruptcy sale.
That sucks.
Wait, so they're going to know that I bought batteries in 1982?
Yes. And what your email address was in 1982.
47 rabbit antennas. What is he doing? But yeah, what's Radio Shack like? Does anyone want that data?
Yeah, how is that valuable? I don't understand that.
Well, no, because they sold cell phones to everyone.
Exactly. So you'll have cell numbers and email addresses and
assuming all that's still current.
Here's your 4 batteries and your 19 feet of receipts. Yeah, and Joel, I know you're listening and you worked for Radio Shack. Screw you for being a part of this.
Remember when they were useful?
My 1996 Qualcomm AT&T phone that was like the size of my forearm.
Right.
How did they not blow up Tandy? Remember, that was like the thing.
Yeah.
When Commodore and Tandy...
Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago.
Absolutely.
When they filed for bankruptcy.
Right. Like, how did Tandy not... Oh, my God. Stupid.
But no, I mean that's it. Yeah, I mean I don't get like I do it. I felt like I was turning into you with the whole like overreaching government yada yada nonsense. Where like
you were getting pretty upset about that.
It doesn't make sense. Like I seriously I don't understand
what
happened.
Let the hate flow through you.
Good. Let the hate flow through you. Like I don't understand what happened to probable cause. Like I don't like there like I. Like, just driving down the street is not probable cause. It's not.
Seatbelt changed that one a long time ago, dude. Oh, you didn't wear a seatbelt. I'm pulling you over. Come on, man.
Yeah, but the police officer was observing that.
Allegedly.
Yeah, right. Oh,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, they can't just observe you driving on the car, driving down the street, and Oh, maybe he doesn't have insurance. Let's pull him over. That doesn't work that way. I mean, of course, it's your word against his.
They're saying that's what they're doing with.
No, I know, but I'm saying to Bob's point about the seatbelts.
It was their way to pull over anyone at any time.
Well, yeah, because
seatbelts
were supposed to be a secondary infraction, and then it became a primary, and yada yada.
I smell weed. Put your hands on the hood. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Well, and then of course there's my latest favorite topic, which is the blog post that went live today.
Oh boy,
the hipster crit.
Let the beatings begin.
So it was brought to my attention that there are people out there who bitch about me to mutual friends of ours because of the blog post that I wrote.
I can't believe you're friends with that.
I can't believe you're friends with that white suburbanite piece of shit who hates Detroit. Yeah. I want to say what I want to say, and I'm not because I'll have to edit out later, but seriously, GFY. Yeah, you stupid, miserable, whiny-ass, non-productive pieces of crap. Get off your asses and do something, and then come talk to me about what I'm doing or what I'm not doing and what my impact on shit is.
I bought turnips from a Detroit garden, so I'm saving the city, even though I registered my car at my dad's house in Sterling Heights, so I don't have to pay taxes.
Right, I'm all about the city, but where's your car registered? My dad's house in Bloomfield.
Oh
Hills.
no, what happened?
Right, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I've got my little map made of Faygo bottle caps of the state of Michigan, but yeah, I'm not actually living downtown or shopping downtown.
But I bought a turnip from a garden off Woodward.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm doing things.
Yeah, I spent time at Eastern Market hanging out with all the other skateboarders in skinny jeans, but then I went to Whole Foods to do my shopping. Yeah,
I got free brunch at Punch Bowl Social.
You're pretty much just recasting your entire blog post. You're just reading. You don't realize it, but that's what you're doing.
It was bubbling pretty deep and dark under the surface.
I think it's the only city like in the country.
We've talked about this.
It's so they're so stupid.
Hey, Chicago, do you have 312 Day? What the hell's that?
No, because
that was probably one of the best conversations I've heard you.
I moved here a year ago, so I am so much better than you because I eat kale chips and hang out at Great Lakes Coffee, and you don't because you're in the suburbs. You go to Tim Hortons and Wendy's. You're stupid. Drives.
No,
one says that anywhere in the country.
Yeah, that
you're not Chicago enough.
You're
right?
not L.A. enough, man.
Yeah, it's part of the new Detroit. You can't say anything about it unless you live in the city.
But I work in
Positive,
Southfield,
that
so I
is.
don't have to pay the income tax in the city. And
Right, and I don't register my car there, so I don't have to pay the registration fees.
I think
or the
Chair's the only one that actually has his car registered in the city.
I didn't even know he had one.
He's paying like he's paying more than my note and my insurance together just for insurance. Like, are you nuts?
No wonder he doesn't drive it.
Yeah, like my insurance every 3 months is his insurance like every month. It's ridiculous. I don't understand.
Was it like $600?
Yeah, I don't understand.
For you and your wife's and your house.
Yeah, for my insurance and yeah.
Unbelievable.
So yeah, by all means, go hit itandthed.com. It just got published. Check out Don't Be That Guy, the hipster crit. And as always,
hopefully that trends.
As always, feedback is more than welcome because, well, I always need more writing material. So
comments are turned on for that post, right?
Of course they are.
Yes.
Wait till someone's got to see it. So we got to shoot it across some bows, and then they'll see it, and then they'll go, "Did you see the hipster crit? I'm so offended. I'm offended.
I want the IT and the D guys to buy me free brunch."
They're not going to get any kale chips for me anytime soon.
Well, I like you had to re-explain everything. Like, if you're reading this and you think it's about you, you might want to rethink your life.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. If you think it's about you, it might be.
Well, that was, just to end on this, that was the very, very, very first press release I ever wrote when we announced the group in 2001.
Yeah.
And I made a shot across the bow going, the sole benefit of starting this organization isn't to benefit the founders. I get a cease and desist from a very, very high-end venture capitalist who's starting a group. They're no longer in the business here in town.
Schmidital,
it rhymed with Schmidital, Detroit it. And I said, if you read anything in that press release that you thought it was you got bigger problems than me because I never said your name in this.
Yeah.
I go, so you can take this and throw in the garbage.
Right.
And it's funny how
you're kind of proving your point.
14 years later, still the same things are coming around circle again. Like, if you read this and get offended, well, maybe it's you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's you.
Yeah.
So, hey, we got a couple great guests coming up after the break. We will take a quick break and then hit them, and then happy fun times.
Well, we'll talk with them. We should not beat on our guests.
No.
Let's be clear.
Maybe.
Okay.
Depends.
It's not that kind of show.
This is the IT and the D Show.
We'll be right back.
Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit, this is the IT in the D Show.
Dig, you IT geeks. This is Dre DeMatteo from Sons of Anarchy. You are listening to IT in the D.
If you're a reseller of IT solutions, the original equipment manufacturer should not be your strongest competitor. At Quantum, we understand the true meaning of partnership. We work with our channel to deliver industry-leading solutions together, all the time, not just when it's convenient for us. Heck, we don't even have a direct sales force. Quantum is looking for a few good partners. Call 586-745-4DXI to get started. That's 586-745-4394.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
Welcome back, segment 2, episode 85. This is the IT and the D Show.
How about a nice, greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray?
He pukes, you die. Oh, your brother's an asshole. Anybody with a haircut like that. Obviously, we're reliving 1985 with the movie.
He's an asshole. Look at his haircut. Anybody with a haircut like that, you know he's an asshole.
That's a ruin. You know what? That movie ruined it for any girl we ever met named Lisa,
or guys named Chet,
named Chet, which is my brother-in-law's name. You know, so everyone that meets him like Chet. You know, Chet.
No shit.
Right. We're sitting here in the Raw Radio X studios in the Russell Industrial Center, beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy. We're here with David Geek, Jeff, the voice of reason. Find us online, itandthed.com, Facebook, Twitter, /itandthed. Segment 2 is brought to you by W3R Consulting. We just had a big job fair at Comerica. If you are looking for an IT gig, look them up, w3r.com. And yeah, we got a couple great studio guests here. We got James here from the Detroit Craftsman's Guild. It only took me 6 times to get that one right.
You got there.
And you were close.
Yeah, you got it.
I kept saying builders. No, Craftsman, think Sears. I'm like, perfect, got it.
We make tables.
right, exactly. We have great drills
and quilts. Buzzsaws.
So, thanks for coming out, James. So I guess, for everyone that hasn't had
we had talked at our Pink Slip party.
Yeah,
back
we did
last
actually.
September.
We spoke almost 6 months ago, and I was like, "Hey, I should come on your show because I'm very presumptuous." And you were like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
You're going to fit right in.
And you've had a bar full of beer here.
Exactly. Yeah. So I should be on your show. And you were like, "Yeah, you should be on our show. You want to do that?
You want to work the soundboard?"
Yeah, I can do it, man. I've got a music background. I'm down. No, and then like my wife had a baby. I mean,
Which
we were sort of
everything.
That I mean, we were kind of expecting it. Like it didn't just.
I would hope so.
Come out of nowhere, but and then it was like, yeah, we should wait.
Yeah,
time out. I'll be back.
So, Dave longs for the years where you can like go to the corner bar while your wife's giving birth and just call me when it comes out.
Yeah. Let me.
Dude,
you just get to sit in the waiting room.
1950s dad.
No, I wanted to be the 1950s dad. I wanted to be in the bar down the street. You know what? Just call me when it's done.
Yeah.
When he's 5.
Yeah. That's about how it averages out. Yeah.
Right.
So some months later, I was like, hey, I got all presumptuous with these guys and never followed through. So I should reconnect and be presumptuous again. Be like, hey, you already said yes. You can't back out now.
They're gonna write a blog about me if I don't go in that damn
exactly. Maybe that jerkwad who goes to the thing, drinks all our beer, and says you're gonna give us content and then doesn't deliver.
Right.
So Detroit Craftsman Guild. I mean, like, so what's for those who don't know, like, what's the foundational concept of it?
Sure. So the basic idea it's a technology user group. That it's actually like if you're sort of familiar with software parlance, I kind of consider it like a fork of the Ann Arbor Craftsman Guild, which is the original. So they just call it Craftsman Guild. But it was one of the first user groups that I actually went to when I got into software just a few years ago, and really liked the atmosphere, liked the kind of the whole jam.
Right.
Like, it was just cool. I liked it. And I sort of walked in and they were like, tonight we don't have a speaker. We're just hacking on our website enclosure. And I was like, cool. What is that? I don't even know. Because I'd been doing software for all of like 6 months at the time. Maybe not even that. And I was like, I don't know any of the words that you just said except maybe web.
So you're an old pro then?
Yeah, totally.
You're an expert.
And
or ninja or expert with 6 months.
Or Rockstar. Rockstar works too.
Good.
Yeah. Guru maybe.
So and then so fast forward a couple of years, and I have some notion as to what I'm doing now. Or at least that's what I tell people.
That's what my resume says.
Yeah, my resume says that. And so
he's a genius.
I was giving a talk last year at SelfConf. And the talk was about how to get into, like, what to do with your first couple of years as a junior developer, like junior developer survival guide, right? And so I was like, you should go to a user group. That's one of the things that you should do. That's what I did, and it worked out great. And they were like, cool, what are some good user groups in this area? And I was like, well, in this area, I mean, there are some in this. There's actually really a vibrant user group scene in Detroit. And I don't have experience with other areas, but I've heard lots of people say, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in this area, like different languages and stuff like that. And I was like, but this is one that I like a lot, and it's in Ann Arbor. And they're like, why don't they have that here? I was like, well, I don't know. You should start it. And then a friend was like, well, maybe we should start it. I was like, oh, that even sounds like we're self-actuating humans. We could do that. Yeah, I just had a baby, but fine. I'm sure I got all kinds of free time, right?
You had a baby?
Well, I helped.
Oh no.
He was there.
I was there. I wasn't down at the
Taking
bar
credit,
smoking.
your wife will get mad at you.
He was there for the pre-alpha cocktail napkin.
Exactly.
Schematic phase.
Right.
He laid out the requirements.
Let's put it this way: a baby was had, and
it had an impact on my life.
And it was but I'm going to do this anyway, right? Because that's the smart thing to do. So
because the baby's there now, he's going to do.
Yeah, that was a great excuse for me to be like, well, I can't come in. I won't be home until like 10 o'clock on Tuesday. I'm really sorry, but this is me furthering my career. Like we all want that, right?
Go with that. We'll just run with that.
Yeah. So that's my get out of jail free card.
Nice.
Everything.
Babe, it's for work. I'm not going out with drinks with
this.
Gabe.
Isn't fun. This isn't fun.
I'm not. No, Bob. I hardly even see Bob.
Those guys are jerks. Have you ever listened to their show? I'm not looking forward to this.
You want to know you married a good woman? She says, "Hey, I got a dinner with a drug rep. They're going to do she gets like fed well, going to like Ruth's Chris or whatever." I'm like, "Oh, babe, Ross got midget wrestling tickets. I got to go to that." And she's like, "Oh, no big deal. I can go to these anytime." I'm like, so like she passed up Ruth's Chris steak for me going to midget wrestling. I'm like, good woman. Good woman.
Wow.
Right.
Can you just repeat that entire sentence?
Exactly.
Probably not.
So the basic idea is that we just do like one or two sort of short tech talks. We'll do, basically we try to get as much content as we can from the people who come to the meetings. Like,
I guess let's take a step back.
Sure.
So how frequently do you get together?
All right, good question. Third Tuesday of every month.
Okay.
So once a month we meet. We've been meeting at the Detroit Labs. They've got a really awesome space. They let us come in there. And they've got this nice little sort of bleacher stand set up, and we get people on the big screen TV so they can do slides and that sort of thing. And we just sort of come together and do all kinds of stuff. Like we've done regular old sort of tech talks, and we just did a hands-on sort of thing where we did like a test-driven development sort of workshop.
Okay.
To have people who had never tried that or wanted a little more practice who don't get to do that stuff at work.
2 days later you can come drink with us.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we're third Thursday.
All right.
Just
I'll keep it in mind. It's for work.
Right, exactly.
I can just be like, I can't come home. It's for work.
It's sort of social.
Yeah.
Demented.
But it's for work.
Right, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's business cards involved.
It's all about my career, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
So, and how, what time do these events start? How long do they typically run?
We typically start at 7. So we usually cater the thing because if people are going to come out and take time out of their personal calendar, we should at least give them some food. And
dude, shut up! Don't let that get out there.
I know, right? Look, we don't.
Way to set that expectation.
I know, right?
Yeah, we brought pizza for the last one.
There you go. We did. There you go. And I don't pay for it. Other people pay for it.
Right?
It's like you want to be a part of this? It's great.
Other people's money.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay for this crap. I don't even pay for the Meetup subscription. What are you talking about? $20 a month, and I don't feel like I'm not paying for that. Anyway, So yeah, we do that, and then we usually start talks at like 7:30. And our typical format is we'll do 2 sort of short-ish talks, 20, 30 minutes.
PM, right?
Yes, of course.
Checking.
No, you wouldn't. No, I don't get out of bed before.
It's not a chamber event, Bob.
No.
You don't.
I don't know if BNI or
You don't want to talk about Java in the morning?
No, sir.
No.
Not that doesn't go in a mug.
Yeah, right.
Not unless you're grinding it.
Exactly. So we'll usually do 2 talks or 1 long talk, and then we frequently do like a little very short 10 or 15-minute talk. Because given that the name is the Craftsman Guild, we sort of we try to get all of the talks to kind of focus in some way on software craftsmanship. Like that's kind of the real the sort of binding agent for the whole thing. That's sort of what it's all centered around. So we started talking to people about we brought these different talks in, and we were like, so we're talking about software craftsmanship. Should we actually go into that a little more in detail? And everybody was like, yes, because we don't, like that's kind of why we're here.
So, and I guess, okay, so that hits the main point. So when you say craftsmanship when it comes to software,
so
what does that mean?
Yeah, so it's kind
or what's it supposed to mean?
Yeah, right. It's kind of an outgrowth of a couple of things. I like to rope it back to XP programming, extreme programming, which sounds like that's the most late 90s.
I just went to Windows XP programming. And
No.
Different
thing. It's a different thing. Extreme programming. So this is where we need like
that's right, tentacles. NT. Huge.
It's
difference.
an 80s show, so we should have like a guitar like mealy meow. Right?
Didn't they write encyclopedia-sized books about extreme programming back in the .com days?
There might have. There probably it's become and and then that sort of tapered into like what became Agile and all this other stuff.
Right.
And I don't really think they're necessarily the same thing. But the craftsmanship has been kind of fostered by a lot of the signatories on like the Agile Manifesto. There's a lot of the same people, Kent Beck and Bob Martin and Ron Jeffries and those folks. And so it has a lot to do with like give a crap about what you're doing. Like the basic idea is that writing software is a craft. It's not like some kind of high-minded, whatever. It's a thing that it's a skill, and you can be good at it or you can be really bad at it. And we try to
the hell men.
Right. We try to reach out to the people that want to be good at it, and we want to try and help them ways to be good at it in ways that we think up their game.
So now, how do you keep from being like this? This is the pit that every developer falls into, myself included. Like, how do you keep this from being about I can get like 90% of the requirements and all that stuff coded out in 60% of the time, and then I'm going to spend the last 40% of the time working on that last 10% because, I just want my code to be elegant.
I think that
exists.
Oh, absolutely does.
For sure. No.
The whole web standards crowd is all about how good your code looks.
I have 2 words for you, and he's the only person that'll get that in this room, but Steve Losey.
Yeah.
I picked the right profession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I kind of feel like that's a natural progression. Is that so? When I sit down to write some code, like I think of this a lot of times as, and I come from kind of a humanities background, so I frequently make analogies that sort of go back to that. But I think a lot of it is almost like a creative writing exercise. Like I sort of just barf something up where it's like I got this problem I got to solve with code. Blah, here we go. And it's awful, right? Like my first pass is just god awful. And then I'll go back and I'll start editing. Like even if it's kind of doing what I need it to do, then I can make it so that some other human being can read it, not just me.
Well, that's why I always love write and document your code like the person who's going to inherit it from you is a crazed maniac who has your home address.
Well, yeah, exactly, right? Like you don't want them to yeah, because maybe you work someplace else, but maybe you're just down maybe you're just down the hall, and they can come find you, right? Like they may bring a pry bar to work. And
what in the ever living hell?
What was this crap? Yeah. So my approach tends to be, I don't necessarily I just write garbage to start with, and I try to think of it as more of a iterative process.
Yep.
Right. I write some garbage, and then I make it less garbagey.
Yep.
And then I try to make it even less garbagey, and then maybe by the end, another human being can sit down and go, "Oh, I actually think I understand what's going on."
That's right.
here.
I'm not going to leave a bottle of Prego on your desk to go without that spaghetti crap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the basic. That's sort of the elevator pitch that lasts 10 minutes.
So is this? So I mean, is it what are
long elevator ride?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Sure.
So
it's like the Russell here.
Yeah, it's like the freight elevator. Right?
So what
the murder hole, as I call it.
Right. Yeah. The opening for Saw 7.
Yeah.
So what are the core conversations there then? I mean, is it like people just having conversations among themselves? Is it like someone up at a podium giving a talk and leading that conversation?
Yeah. Well, so it's typically so what we try to do is we sort of think of it as like little bitty mini the way we try to encourage folks to come up, especially people who are new to speaking, which we always like try to bring in. We're really excited to get people who've never spoken before. And we're like, great, you're the perfect candidate for this. Because there's only, we get a decent crowd every time. I'm always surprised. We get about 30 to 40 people sometimes.
Decent?
Like, not bad.
That's a decent crowd for that type of
exactly. Like, this is kind of a niche thing. And so I'm always surprised at how well we do.
Well, you're feeding them so they come.
I think I'm not kidding myself. That's part of it, right? Free dinner. But that's fine. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But typically our format is we have talks, right? Like,
right.
This is sort of like I'm going to, and they aren't always on necessarily like, oh, this particular practice or this particular thing. They're sort of technology agnostic. So sometimes, somebody might come in and go, like, our next talk is going to be about functional programming. But we sort of try to say, okay, cool, that's awesome. We want to hear about that. We've got people that want to know about this. How can you kind of spin this? How does this relate to craftsmanship in some way? Does this make your code cleaner? Does it make it easier to read? Does it make it more testable? What do you bring into the table that makes this, that's going to make my life better if I inherit your code?
Right. So it's almost like a code review in open. Like you could,
kind of.
If you're bringing like a new snippet.
From a methodology standpoint, yeah.
Right. So if you want to bring a snippet that you want to release to the wild, but you want to kind of prove it out to your peers, essentially.
I mean, kind of. We do some tech talks, we do some soft talks. People will just come in and talk about the value of code reviews in general.
Yeah.
Or they'll just come in and talk about
I remember
shortest talk ever.
They used to have those in EDS that were mandatory before you could promote anything. Those are, and it's a wonder that things actually worked back then because people actually had to, sign off on something.
Right.
Yeah.
Accountability. What's that?
Exactly. Yeah. Nobody wants that.
No.
Hey, it worked in test.
It works on my machine.
Now it's an ops problem.
Yeah,
works on my machine.
I'm just going to throw it over the wall.
Yeah. So we'll sometimes have people come in and like I sometimes do talks there myself, and I'll workshop talks that I'm sort of thinking of taking on the conference circuit. So I was like, I'm interested in web components because I think that's going to be a thing in the next couple of years. So I sort of learned a bunch of stuff about it, and then kind of put together a short little presentation on it, and just brought it in. And it was super rough. Like I said, we kind of encourage that. But it was more about like, oh, well, this will make your websites and your web applications more modular because you can pull this stuff out and ship it to wherever, and that's its sort of relationship to the sort of.
So how many of these events have you had?
We started in September. October. It's about 6 months. I think I think this will be our sixth one.
Are you noticing the same faces showing up each month, or is it a different based on
we
what
have
you're
actually
talking about?
we have a pretty good mix. I think in terms of our just member base, I think we're up towards 150 or 200 members, so it rotates out pretty pretty evenly. But I do see a lot of the same folks coming in. We've got several regulars.
You have core, they always show
up.
People.
And yeah, exactly. But I mean, and I think depending on the topic as well.
Right. That's what I was bringing up.
Six events in, we were still the same five guys: corner bar, post bar, Ferndale.
Yeah. 13 events.
That lasted until like 2004.
Yeah.
We went almost a whole year. It's $2 beers, man. We ain't giving this thing up for that.
No.
Yeah, so we just did our first hands-on event last month, and we had a really nice showing, and a lot of people were really enthusiastic. There were a lot of new faces who came out for this because they were like, I've heard a lot about this thing called TDD, and I don't know what it is, and I want you to tell me all about it, and I want to do it. So
no, it's cool. I mean, and it is. I mean, it's a growing field and a growing. We had so many noobs that showed up at our Pink Slip Party event over at the Majestic.
Mm-hmm.
A
lot of fresh college graduates. That, where
do
I go next?
And unlike most groups, we embrace noobs. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right. Us too. Us too.
Yeah,
that's a key thing. Like, I want no part of people who are like, "Whoa, what you don't."
Well, dude, because if nobody takes you under their wing, you're just gonna suck on your own.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. It's like, I need all these jobs say I need a year of experience, but no one will hire me.
Right.
And it's like that's this constant cyclical problem, right? So it's like, well, what do I do? And so no, we're very open to new people. We have people who come in and they're like, I don't work in code, I don't do this, I'm thinking about changing careers, and I'm like, perfect. Right. Come in, sit down. I want to teach you this crap before you're 5 years in.
Right.
And you're not, you know what I mean? Like, it's way harder to get somebody who's been doing this for 5 years.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to train them right
exactly.
than try to unteach bad habits.
Like training a puppy versus getting a dog from the shelter. I don't mean to imply that my members are all canines, but
I wouldn't lead with that.
But it's, look, They know me well enough. They know that I love them all. But yeah.
So when is your next event?
So our next event is April 17th, I believe.
Okay.
And we're going to have a guy come in, and he's going to talk about functional programming. I think he's going to do it with a bent toward like Lisp or Racket or something.
That's a Friday.
No, it's a Friday. What's the third Tuesday?
Probably the 14th.
Third Tuesday is the 21st.
There it is.
There you go.
All right.
Just keep throwing that dart.
Well, I'll get there. There's only so many days in April.
Yeah. Right.
So
just pick a Tuesday. We may or may not be there. That's
right. Just come on in.
So, and is there a cost to show up? Is there do people have to RSVP? What's the scoop?
We appreciate people to RSVP. We've got a meetup page. You can find us pretty easily if you just search for us, or we've got a Twitter account. They can get in touch with me. There's lots of ways to sort of find us. We like for folks to RSVP because we've never packed the place out, but if for some reason.
It's still nice to know.
It's super nice to know because, again, we're feeding them. So, we have to know a couple of days ahead, how much food are we freaking ordering? So, we just ask that people RSVP. There's no cost. Show up. They actually, a month or so ago, Meetup was like, hey, people want to give you money. And I was like, oh, I don't know about that.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, please.
Feel a little funny. But no, we never set out to do any, I don't want to deal with it. So, like you said, other people's money, I don't want to have to.
It gets annoying real quick.
Yeah, so I just I said thanks, but if the situation changes, we'll let you know. But we're good for now.
So third Tuesday, you're down to Detroit Labs.
Yep.
And we'll have the links for your your meetup group and all that stuff in a recap tomorrow.
Sure.
Anything we missed? And you don't have to think about it now. We have a whole fourth segment.
I do a bunch of other crap too, but I do a lot of teaching and speaking around here. But that's sort of
we can dive into that later.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Sure.
All right, cool.
I got opinions and stuff.
We're good with those.
So we'll be back after the break with Steve Cho from. He wrote a great book called "Why Technology Recruiting Is Broken and What to Do About It."
I'm mad at us for having not written that book.
That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah, that sounds.
This is going to be a heavy conversation.
I'll buy that for $1. Yeah.
This is the IT and the D Show.
We'll be right back.
Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit, this is the IT and the D Show.
Hi, I'm Brittany Daniel from The Game, and you're listening to IT and the D Show.
Are you in the information technology industry as a professional looking for a job? Or a manager looking to hire top-notch, hard-to-find talent? Call Arrow Strategies at 248-502-2500. Arrow Strategies is a Detroit-based, full-service talent acquisition company that was established in 2002. Arrow Strategies is a proud IT and the D sponsor. Make sure that you stop by our booth at the Pink Slip Party or find us at any IT and the D event.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
If you did not have a junior high dance flashback right there, there's something wrong with you, or you're too young.
I'm not
Leave
gonna
room
lie.
for Jesus.
Middle school, middle school dancing.
When I was going through and putting all I could not help myself. I had to do the middle school dance.
What do middle school dances look like now?
Dude, I had so many
probably don't know
brutal flashbacks.
That Madonna song was like, oh, for all you couples out there wanting to go skating, let's do that.
Exactly. We're going to have ourselves a couples skate.
I DJ my kids' elementary school dances. Yeah. And it's like, it's still cool, Dad. Like, if I do this in middle school, it's like, no, you get out of here, beat it, Dad, you're stupid, No.
What you watching me?
This is segment 3, episode 85 of the IT and the D Show. We're sitting here, as always, in the Raw Radio X studios, Russell Industrial, beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy here at Dave the Geek Jump, the voice of reason. Find us online, itinthed.com. Segment 3 is brought to you by Pure Storage, flash storage arrays. Find them online at purestorage.com. If you want to hit them up, they had made an email address, itandthed@purestorage.com.
And they're coming in on my birthday.
And they will...
No pressure.
They will be here on your birthday.
And will you be here on your birthday?
Dude, so let's just, realities of family life. So daughter has her second grade concert that night. So it starts at 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be there, and then I will be. It's an hour, and
because if you're not, your life will end.
She has a solo, so I can't not be there.
Yep.
So that'll last an hour, and then I will be.
Dave, aren't
available
you
for drinking.
Technology, can Anita do a Google Hangout
live
broadcast?
No, that will not be acceptable.
No. Because we'll never see him again.
Yeah, no, it would be all over.
I'm just offering advice.
Yeah, no. No, and her first communion is the day before. So yeah, that's how I want to spend my birthday weekend, is in a church and then at a second grade concert. That's what I want to be doing.
You can absolve your sins because of PenguinCon.
Right? Yeah, I'll spend Friday and Saturday night sinning, and then are you?
Yeah,
we're awesome.
I'm speaking.
So are we? We're on 2 panels.
I think I saw that.
We're running the After Dark track.
Nice. Yeah, and we're on a Kink and You or something like that.
Yes.
Nothing good can come of that.
We're on a panel how to pick up chicks. I wish I was kidding. Is that what it's called?
That's one of them. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how they don't screen for that or anything. They just whatever.
Exactly.
Well, they figured we both somehow managed to get married. Me twice, so we must know something.
Works out. As it turns out.
No.
Hi,
welcome to the panel and Blind Luck. Go.
Yeah.
Right. You guys seem pretty.
Our advice to you is to start drinking heavily.
Next time, don't submit a group photo.
We want to do the. What year are you? Freshman. $2. We want to hold up women's underpants. Have you ever seen these before?
I'm being honest, asshole. I would expect you to know the difference.
Exactly. Do you know what this looks like?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have fun. We'll see you there.
Yeah, cool.
So speaking of which, we got Steve Acho in the house tonight. You got a whole bunch of things going on in your life, but the main reason you came out is you got a book called Why Technology Recruiting's Broken and What to Do About It.
Which, again, screw us for not writing.
Let me
totally beat you to the punch.
First thank you for making a book title what the book is about, not calling it like Disruptors and you got to figure it out after like the third chapter.
Ambiguous title.
Right.
Which is why it won't be a bestseller, which is fine with me. Actually, it's funny because the book is divided into 2 parts. You're not going to believe this. The first part is why technology recruiting is broken, and the second part is what to do about it.
So you're actually providing a solution.
I'm willing to bet that the vast majority of people,
crazy
the vast majority never makes it to the second part. That's the sad reality
So you didn't
of
wanna,
life. That's
Actually, the first part is probably more entertaining.
You didn't want to break it up into actually 2 books,
Yeah, right. It's fine. No.
Sequel.
It's The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
Well, I got the Audible.
There's more.
I got the Audible book Makers, and I thought it was like talking about bourbon. It's about like 3D printing, and I'm like,
Yeah, if I would have been smart, I would have followed one of the. Remember Mars and Venus, like in the '80s, and they came. It was like Mars and Venus was a great book for how men and women should communicate.
Yeah, men are from Mars because we have a penis. Whatever.
So, but because that did well, all of a sudden, like you go back to the bookstore every 3 months, and it was like Mars and Venus in the bedroom.
Reunited.
Mars and Venus go out for popcorn, or it's like
Mars and Venus eat chicken soup. Their soul.
The lunar eclipse.
Right.
Then there's 100 of those. Right?
Yeah. They should have made it like the joke one, like Mars and Uranus or something.
Yeah. It's for gay couples.
Which we're fully supportive of on the IT Liddy Show.
Nothing wrong with that.
Thanks for coming in, Steve.
I was happy to be here until a second ago.
And I got nothing.
Yeah, so like
we were talking tech.
No, so what what made you decide that I mean, not that we don't we know it's like what made you decide to go ahead and go out on the limb and write the book?
Yeah, I figured I would get along with you guys because a while back I saw your Don't Be That Guy segment, and I think a lot of what I talk about is so obvious and almost funny in a way. If you're in the business that we're in, we do a lot of recruiting for technology for staffing, and by that I mean not hiring people full time to be part of a startup or part of a mid-sized business or part of GM or Ford.
You're placing people.
It's literally, our clients come to us and say, I need a guy, and we have this project and we know what this project is, and that the process of identifying a person who's a good fit, really to answer your question, I just want to change the conversation into an intelligent one. And it's so broken to me, and there's a number of reasons why, depending on whether you start with the candidate who raises his hand and says, I can do that, hire me, or whether you start with, the million recruiting companies out there that are just slinging thousands of resumes around. It's broken, and part of it is because we're doing the same thing that we've been doing for 20 years, and really, what has changed is that we have more access. So the problem isn't access to people. For $1,000, you can you have LinkedIn, you have Dice, you name it. I mean, you have 20 of them off the top of our heads.
Independent job boards out there.
What are you doing? So change the conversation now. Don't just say, and that's everyone's pitch is like, we have thousands of resumes, and I get, spam emails every day from recruiting agencies that say,
yeah, but who do you know?
For $300, I have a database of all. It's like, I don't care
I'm
about
connected with
databases
700 people on LinkedIn,
Well,
but I don't know
yeah,
2 of them.
so like the numbers are important.
It's no different.
but-
It's no different than me being in sales and going, I can
Exactly.
give you leads. It's like, well, they're not leads; they're just names and numbers.
Well, but I mean, that's
So what are
the
you
sad
doing with
reality.
That's the old
Right.
cold call.
Conversation
That's the
you're
cold call
having.
list, right?
I mean, and that's the sad part that I think people might be starting to clue into now, and it's what we hammer on over and over and over again. It's way more art than it is science. So you look at, big data and, and data analysis and, digging, and Boolean strings in your resume. Dude, take 5 minutes of time and actually have a conversation with
With a
someone.
human being,
And
right.
you will know far more than anything than any of that other nonsense will give you.
Mm-hmm. But I would say, so part of my criticism actually is really from the client side. And the conversation that I try and have with people is, I want to find a good fit. I might already have an employee who's a good fit. So I might not need to go out and recruit, but I'm not just going to blindly do that because you told me you need a guy who knows skill X, right? So
Because why?
Because, well,
that's I need Java. Okay, why?
Exactly. And that's a good question because the answer to that question should end in my biggest criticism of the whole industry is that clients and people that are looking to hire technology consultants will not describe the job.
Not
They
will
describe the person. It's a
but probably
long-
cannot.
Well, but someone can. Someone's smart enough. The person that is responsible for
Yeah,
the
there's
project,
someone in that organization who has said, "This is the person that I need." That's
and
the
it may
person
not
that's
be
like-
the person that you're talking
right.
to. Right.
They're 8 layers deep in the food chain to finally get to them.
So this is the kids. This is the kids' old game of telephone, right? So
Right.
it gets lost in translation.
Right.
Yeah, I need a Java developer, which turns into I need a software developer, which turns into I need a
barista.
system. I need a system architect with 13 years of experience with that.
Well, and think about this. When someone says something as simple as I need a web developer, right? So what do you need a web developer for? And the job description, as they call it, will have 50 bullet points of all the skills that they need to have.
Give me
For
3.
how many years, right?
Yeah, they're throwing a net out into the ocean.
Give me 3.
Exactly. And the real question is, forget even about the skills yet. It's like, what do you want them to do? And the answer to that question should start with a verb.
Mm-hmm.
It should be create a back-end website in .NET or whatever it is.
Right.
It should start with a verb and end with the technology. And that is the hardest conversation to have with clients because they just typically will just list all of the skills that are
Well, and they don't-
that are
they
required.
don't-
And then how am I supposed to identify
Well, and
somebody,
either
right?
don't know how to or they can't answer the follow-up questions. That's the pain point.
And that's what makes it hard. And they don't really care if there are a bunch of agencies out there wasting their time, contacting 100 different people that have the skill set, right? So, but what strikes me about it as strange is that there's no other discourse in your life where you buy something. Where, like, imagine you're having a party at your house, right? And you're going to get it catered. Would you take out an ad and say, I'm looking for someone that has minimum of 5 years experience, cooking chicken and 10 years with spatulas and this type of oven? And it's like,
I need food. What kind of
literally,
food?
yeah. It's like
Right.
you're
Food.
describing all
I
of
need
these.
chicken. What kind
You're
of
describing
chicken?
a person instead of describing the results. Like you don't hire someone to shovel your driveway or mow your lawn or anything.
We get the
and
same
describe the person.
We get the same calls all the time where back when I need a switch. I got 3 quotes, and I got one for 10 grand, one for 100, one for 500 grand. Why? And I go, because you went to the car dealer and you said I need car. And that
Right.
and left it open.
Right.
So you had one guy selling you a Kia, one guy selling you a Chevy, one guy selling you a Benz.
Right.
Like, what do you want?
But a
know?
catering company won't even answer your question. If you called a company right now and said, you guys do catering, right? Yeah, we do. All right, well, I need catering. Just give me a quote. Here's my email address.
Right.
No, I got questions. Well, I don't have time for questions.
That's an RFP.
I got a party to plan.
That's an RFP. They're not going to do that.
That's
They're not
exactly
for
what
that.
it is.
Yeah.
But how is anyone supposed to say this is the service? I am happy to turn down if I don't have a person or know a person or whatever. But we're not even allowed to have that conversation. So one of the things that we do is we have fired 2 clients because they moved to one of those. I don't know how controversial this is going to be, but you guys give me your opinions on this.
Go for it.
As soon as they get to a vendor management system,
Gone.
to me,
Gone.
I've already fired 2 clients.
Good for you, by the way.
And maybe because again, like they've unless there's some VMS that I haven't seen that has an intelligent conversation, I just haven't seen it yet. It's all about like upload your resume, tell me this, here's a drop down for, Java. How many years? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? So now someone on the other end, and I get that there's lots of people applying for different roles, but someone on the other end is looking at this matrix and they're comparing human beings in this very, like it's a piece of steel, right? It's a commoditized, impersonal way to deal with human beings. And so if you don't want to have a conversation, then that's totally fine. We're happy to not work with you. So we actually have this form now because it's so hard to force this conversation. We have a form on our site that actually has a drop down that starts with a verb. So it forces them to start it says create, architect, develop, and there's all these other verbs, and maybe I missed one, so there's a place for you to fill in your own. And then you can go fill out the rest and tell us the top 5 things that you actually need the person to do instead of what you need them to have.
It's like
right?
a Mad Libs form. You're
really,
guiding them through the conversation.
That's what we call it. I can have a lot of fun with something like that.
That's awesome.
I need a blank that can code blank.
Yeah, exactly. That's literally what it does, though, right?
I'm going to start with fart and then go from there.
Look what
fart a website in C#.
Oh, hey, we said fart. Bob woke up.
Yeah, what is it? I'm back.
Hey, that's a verb.
You're speaking his language.
little technical fart. Yay, I'm
Wah,
in.
wah, wah, wah,
Steve
wah,
doesn't
wah,
want an
fart.
iOS
What?
app.
Oh, they were talking about tech stuff, whatever, coding, and then all of a sudden they got to the, talking about P tags, and I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like,
oh God, last week I felt that poor bastard last week. Yes, as soon as P tag came up, you were lost. The entire conversation, you were lost.
It's still funny.
It is funny.
So and now when you say we do this, so I mean you are the managing director at a recruiting company,
correct?
And it's Solstice Consulting Group. You guys are at scg360.com.
Yep.
So like what haven't we heard that obviously you work with a lot of the the same folks in the industry that many places do.
Yep.
But so what's your differentiator?
I think the differentiator is that we're only working with companies where we have that, sometimes people are 2 or 3 levels down and they're slinging resumes, and that works. I mean, the volume game works for some people, as does
it's Amazon.
Walking into the bar.
It's a penny on every transaction, but we do 1 billion transactions a day, so life's good. Yeah.
But just like Bob was saying with sales, where you have all these leads and you're just hoping something stick. Like we're just not the company that will do the super high volume transactions where the client won't answer the question.
You
about
don't want to be
what that
staffing
human
help
being-
desks, is what you're saying. I mean, that's
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, but the thing is if the help desk people will tell us, the perfect fit for this is somebody that is capable. Like we look for recruiting and hiring people and staffing at our clients who are capable and motivated to do the work. So that presupposes that someone defines the work, and if they won't define the work, that's fine. We won't work with them. But the clients that we have, and we've got Apple, we've got GM, we've got some big companies and mid-sized companies that will call and actually talk to us and have an intelligent conversation about defining the work, and it really does help them too, because we're not just going to waste their time with a bunch of resumes that have a long list of skills that may or may not be relevant, right?
Right.
So there's really nothing that 5 years of Java doesn't guarantee that someone is capable of doing the job.
No, absolutely.
Ever. I mean, so I'm thinking about you guys.
They could be just skating through the system and not being noticed.
Well, or they could be lying on the resume because your rec says that they need 5 years. But the point is, it's a bad conversation.
Or they could be outsourcing their work to 10-year-olds like the guys last week,
Right. Mr. John, I don't want to work on Jeep.com anymore.
Sorry. Kicking that mule.
That's great. So the companies that we work with, we're having that conversation, and we get it right the first or the second time, and we have long-term projects there. And so it's almost like we're one of those weirdo companies that's not necessarily
that actually
looking
get
for
it.
Well, but we're not looking for more. Like I don't like that. My other criticism of the industry is a lot of it just uses the volume-based approach, which is you send out 1,000, and it's just like people that are looking for jobs.
It's the Damone approach.
We'll just send out thousands of resumes everywhere.
Jerry Maguire,
and
fewer clients,
No,
quality people.
Well, no, he's
Exactly.
he's complaining about the Damone approach. You putting out the vibe. Well, yeah, you put out the vibe to 1,000 women. Something's bound to happen. Exactly.
And that's the thing. Yeah, if you ask 500 girls out with the same line in the same bar, 3 of them are going to be drunk enough to say yes to whatever your question is, and so so that certainly works. And some companies take that approach, but the problem is the other 497 people. Like, what is your reputation?
Are like you,
with them?
giant bag of douche.
Right. So that's kind of been our approach is to make sure that we're having intelligent conversations. And again, like even when we're recruiting, we're having intelligent conversations with the people that we recruit.
It's crazy.
It is. Weird,
it's a fad.
Wait, so you mean hiring 22-year-old cheerleaders from Lifetime Fitness Sales doesn't make you the best salesperson or recruiter ever? No? You mean you have to actually do work?
There's that.
And you have to talk to people?
Yes.
And know the technology?
Yes.
God, it's crazy.
A little bit, yes. Or at least have access. So, I mean, well, and we talked about that in one of the blog posts recently is that's the part that kills me is that conversation of if you're talking to somebody on the client side and you're like, okay, no, really, I need to know really what this job is. And you either get vague obfuscation nonsense back or you get crickets back. That's got to be a giant red flag because on the candidate side, if you're talking to a recruiter and you're like, okay, no, really, what's this job for?
Yeah, I don't want to have a bad reputation with anybody that I'm just meeting and saying, this may or may not be a good fit for you. But here's everything I know about it. But I don't even want to have a bad conversation where I go, all I know is they need someone with minimum of 5 years of this.
Yeah, because that's frustrating on their part.
We're coalescing the vapor of the
right. Yeah, we're changing the paradigm. Because I mean, that's the
word?
Yeah. Because from the candidate side, what that screams is okay. You have no relationship with whoever it is on the other side that's doing it because you can't find out any more details and you don't know your job. Why am I going to put my
copy
career?
Pasting.
Yeah, why am I going to put my career in your hands? That's
And there are consultants that move from gig to gig, and some of them are actually happy to have that conversation because they're playing the numbers game too.
Right.
And I really don't want to represent them. I don't want them representing my company if they're not interested.
Yeah,
because
if they're going to bounce, they're going to bounce.
That conversation is the same thing both ways. I want to know that someone's capable and motivated. And sometimes I talk to people that are capable and motivated, but they don't want to move to California, and so it's not a good fit, and that's okay. You know what I mean? So it's just all about it's just having an honest conversation with people.
Again, what a novel concept.
I know.
Never going to work.
Did you write our business model for the pizza parties?
But the fun, you guys have one of your Don't Be That Guys is about how people use LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is obviously this huge. It's growing so fast, and they have hundreds of millions of members, and so there's no it's free and easy to access anybody. So you see the same exact numbers game going on with
Dude,
everyone.
I'm convinced LinkedIn is rapidly becoming the new Facebook, with a lot of fake spam accounts. It's getting ridiculous.
Yeah. And just from a user point of view, can we stop with the memes on Facebook? Or on LinkedIn? I mean, that's what Facebook is for.
Yeah.
Have you seen the hot girl recruiter accounts?
The 9 a day that I get.
So just so everybody listening knows how to spot a what do they call it? A catfish. Grab that picture, download it, and then upload it on Google Images, and it'll show you the other instances of that image.
No
kidding.
You don't.
That's how you catch
You don't
a
even have to
catfish.
go that far. If you go to that person's profile and get to the people who viewed this profile have also viewed, this is correct. That's my first.
There's
step.
100 other hot
and no, it's the same photo in 3 or 4 other different names, different profiles.
I was going to say that's what Google usually brings up. So it's the same hot chick, and it's 30 different names.
Yeah.
And some of them are LinkedIn, and some of them are something else.
Yeah, just synergizing.
Right.
They're synergizing the vertical initiatives, man.
Yeah.
They are.
So that's just one problem that
words,
LinkedIn
man.
has.
Yeah, right? I can do this.
What steps are they taking to even prevent that from happening? I mean, that's such a huge issue.
Us hitting spam.
Yeah.
Well, Bo got hit with. She accepted everybody. Whoever connects with her, she's like, I accept. She goes, I get an email.
I thought you ran her LinkedIn account.
Yeah, I set it up. No, but she goes, I got an email from some guy. He said he was knew your great uncle. And he said we get $3 million.
He's a prince from Nigeria.
Come on, I go. They're doing that in LinkedIn now.
All they need is your bank account,
right?
Yeah. She goes, what should I do? And I go, don't accept those people. She goes, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Educate your wife, Bob.
I go, it's not Detroit medical. She's in the medical field. You know
And,
what I mean?
and in her defense, she didn't understand. Like, so his wife is not on Facebook, and we like.
Thank God.
No, and it actually took me explaining it to her because she didn't believe Bob. Like, she was mad at Bob because for their Christmas party, she didn't like when some of her friends like came back and said, "Hey, can I come to your Christmas party?" Well, but like, why aren't you?
I forgot about that.
Like, why aren't you a host on your Christmas party? And Bob explained, she's like, "Hon, it's because you're not on Facebook. Like, you can't be added as a host unless you're on Facebook. That's how that works." And she didn't believe him. And we were at Grand Trunk.
I go, the title of the party is Bob and Bo's Christmas party, for F's sake.
Right.
You know, like,
but she's like, but I'm not a host. And so I'm like, oh, Bo, I'm like, sweetheart, no, like you refuse to get a Facebook account. That's how it works. Like, to be a host, you have to have a Facebook account. And she was like, oh, well, he never told me that. And I'm like, no, I kind of know he did. But in the interest
Shame
of,
on him.
But in the interest of getting along, yeah, screw Bob. Bad Bob.
It's like,
I think there's a bus coming right now.
You never listen to your mother, but you listen to the neighbor's trombone coach or whatever. Like, it's the same principles apply. Hey, we are coming up against breaks.
We are. So, Steve, how do we find you online?
SCG360.com.
Okay.
SCG
stands for Solstice Consulting Group. And if anyone's interested, I would love to get your feedback on this little forum, because we just started doing it because it was so hard to push this conversation about, like, just tell me the top 5 most critical things that you need them to do.
Yeah, not 30.
And start with a verb.
Yeah.
Again, and then tell me the top 3 skills, and it forces them to prioritize, and it should take like 3 minutes.
Interesting.
It's at scg360.com.
That sounds awesome, actually.
/form. I would love to see if, like, I'm open to feedback. I'm
We'll
open
throw
to
the
being
link out there
wrong
for
about
that.
this conversation
Absolutely.
even. But yep, that's where it is. Just scg360.com/form.
Okay.
We'll
make that happen.
Yeah,
Even if it's a fake requirement, I don't care. I just want to
Fart
sure
a
it's
website in C#. I'm telling you, that's what it's going to be.
Fart
in
new
C#.
I
don't
You'll
think
know
that's one of the
You'll know
items.
it's me. Well, you said there's another category, so
That's
I can
true.
type in what I need.
Mobile
Fart
app
is-
dev.
fart is a verb.
New fart app. Film at 11.
The world needs more fart apps. We'll be back with James, Steve, and a bunch of goofy stories. This is the IT and the D Show.
Live from the Raw Radio X studios in downtown Detroit, this is the IT in the D Show.
Hey guys, this is Time Hawk, Bruce Leroy from The Last Dragon. You're listening to the IT and D Show.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.
All right, we're back. Segment 4, episode 85. This is the IT and the D Show. We're sitting here in the Raw Radio X studios in the Russell Industrial Center, beautiful Midtown Detroit, Michigan. This is Bob the Sales Guy. Here with Dave the Geek, Jeff the Voice of Reason. Find us online, itandthed.com. Segment 4 is brought to you by Quantum Storage. Find them online, quantum.com.
That's right. We're not going to do a segment 5 tonight because I don't want to hear this out of Bob.
Moon River. Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time?
I'm already losing my voice. There's no way I'm making it to 5.
So, just doubling back on some of the earlier topics, I thought this. We've talked about this a little bit before. RSA has their annual conference coming up, and
Is that still as a tenant as it used to be?
It is.
That used to be the de facto.
And they've announced now that there will be no booth babes allowed at their conference.
You know what? Good.
Cue up the Crickets app.
Good. No, it's good. They're stupid.
No, I mean it's just about the fact that it's news. I mean that's
how did
Applebee's coming to Detroit?
Yeah.
I want to be in that meeting, like where that had to get brought up, and then see how everybody go like, what's wrong with having a couple chicks? And then a couple like, we can't. It's stupid. Oh no, So
that day has passed.
I used to go to CeBIT in Germany, right?
Right.
And CeBIT did it proper, where there was lounges in every booth.
Yeah.
Like it was a little, but they had a hostess or someone sitting in the front. Like, who would you like to meet? Right? Because there was I was with NEC at the time, and there's like 5 or 6 different stations. Like, is that bad, or is that, you know what I mean? Like, I understand the booth babes, like, but like the whole hostess thing, like directing traffic, I don't see anything wrong with that. Am I off?
No.
Because booth babes, implies scantily clad, yada, yada,
no,
yada.
these girls are dressed professional.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about, professional.
I don't know why we haven't. Those conferences are so great. Guys would walk up to you and like with a cigarette and a beer, and like go, "Tell me about your product." And like you'd have this great conversation, like, come on, sit down, we have a little lounge over here. And we'd have these great conversations. Like you go to CES and all these shows here and they're so uptight and they're so just like, here's a key token with all of our information. Download.
Yeah, everyone there is about the swag. They just want the T-shirt, the key fob, the hat.
It goes back to what Steve was saying and what we were saying with the Pink Slip Party. Like, have that 3-minute conversation. You'll know so much more.
Yep.
Hand me that CD. There's no way.
I will never look at that.
No.
Yeah, it's like that replaces a conversation.
I'll take that USB thumb drive and format it and use that as my backup.
Right. No one ever said, why did you buy quantum storage? Oh man, that koosh ball at CES is freaking awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, give me a break. We used to have a guy that worked with us when we used to go to these shows. I'd have to go to like all, when I went to Japan and all that, we were talking about, you spending time in Japan, Steve. He used to bring 2 suitcases, one for clothes and one for trick-or-treating. I'm like, dude, what do you do? It's not like you can put that shit on eBay, Like, oh, this flashlight's awesome.
You got a spare room for all the swag.
Dude, I still get made fun. Dude, I have the T-shirt collection. I mean, I think we
all do.
Well, we're developers, right? I mean, you go to a conference, you're going to get a free T-shirt.
I would come back with like 19 of them. And, I've got, and it is what it is.
That's what I said. If you do a show and you're in the booth, you either give me alcohol or bake cookies. And give me a bottle of water. There's
or a little of both.
There's no one or the other. You got 2 choices, right? And have those HP. We used to do it all the time. Like, oh, can you like swap out like this crap for like 3 couches? Oh my God, and everybody be hanging out by us. Sit down, like let's hang out.
Right.
Nobody gets that. Yeah. So screw the damn booth babes, whatever the hell they call them. Get them out.
So I'm not going to lie. My personal favorite story that came out this week was the prison in London, where the guy there was a prisoner who got his hands on a cell phone and managed to register a DNS, registered a domain that was close to the prison system, created his own PDF for getting himself released, emailed it to the prison that he was currently in, and they released him.
Wow.
Deserves to be released.
All right.
Hire that man.
Fair play.
He deserves the biggest, longest slow clap ever.
Like that floored me.
What's that stupid movie with DiCaprio where he was like falsifying everything?
Oh, Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah. But if you're going to be a crook, be a good enough one where you get hired afterwards by the FBI, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This guy will get hired by some security firm, some gray hat, some government entity that's going to be like, oh yeah, no, you got to teach us what you did.
Yeah, no, well done. That's
good job.
We applaud you, and that'll be the next thing. So, and then from the dumb mistakes department, we have the couple that was driving through the Chicago area that drove off a bridge that had been closed since 2009. They drove around the barricades and everything else that told them to stay away from the bridge. And
that bridge has been out since the Blues Brothers.
Since 2009, they crashed off the bridge. Wife died, husband severely injured, and now is trying to sue. Because their GPS told them to go off that bridge. To take that bridge.
So this is literally like if your
GPS
GPS told you to drive off a bridge, would you do it?
Yeah.
The Office made fun of this in 2006 with Michael Scott driving into a lake following his GPS.
Right. Yeah. So if the GPS tells you to follow the blue road, don't follow the blue road.
Yeah.
There's German stories that come out, because I read the news over, for once in a while. There's news stories that Germans drive in lakes. I think it's a weekly occurrence.
Why? Your car is not a submarine. You can actually look out the window. Why don't you just pay attention to where you're driving?
You're not driving with the windows blacked out, a map, and a stopwatch.
Exactly.
No, I mean when I was in, I can understand because there was a language barrier. Because weren't they? They were foreign. They weren't.
They'd been in the country long enough that they should have known better.
When I was in Germany, I remember the Navy told me, jetzt links abbiegen, which is you go left. So light turns green, I turn left. Wrong way down a one-way street. So I see the police sirens go off. I'm like, oh, great. So I gun it and turn left, right until, it's smooth sailing.
You did a Michigan left?
Oh, absolutely. just until I didn't hear the sirens anymore.
Off, yeah.
Right. But I mean, I could see if if you don't know the language real well.
Oh, right.
And you're like, hey, I'm following this thing. And
that's known as a German right.
Right, exactly.
Well, it's like Michigan, where 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 rights make a left. That's, yeah.
Sure.
I don't know.
Did I just lose you, Bob?
Nope.
Yeah, you did. I had to think about that one way too much.
So the other one that's been interesting, we've got the Apple Watch we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Ooh.
But dude, you're gonna need an appointment if you want one.
$12,000
because there's no walk-in sales at the Apple stores.
Nope. You know why? Because people are going to be running out the front door with them.
Right.
Here, can I try that on?
I can has Apple Watch. I be asshole.
I don't understand the appeal of it. I don't.
You know, walk around with a $10,000 watch on your wrist. You think that's not going to get lifted? Come on.
Apple.
No,
how expensive is it?
Well, they've got the basic.
The
one,
high
which
end
is
is
The high end is 10.
The high end is 10,000.
But did you hear that I think it's the $10,000 one comes with a plastic band or something, and so you have to,
it should be
yeah.
No,
So
I'm
you have
sorry.
to pay another $7,000 if you want the gold band. So it's not a $10,000 watch.
And it better be stapled to my
It's
wrist.
It's a $17,000
Yeah, exactly. It
watch.
ought to be an implant.
Yeah, exactly.
And
not to channel Lou Black, but
yeah, it should be the iPhone that's actually implanted into my eye. At that
Apple
point, yeah.
could come out.
EYE phone.
Yeah.
Apple could come out with an IoT toilet, and
The eye poop,
you might call the iPoop.
the eye flush.
I like iPoop better.
course
Not
you
to
do.
channel Lou's Black, but there's going to be people sitting around going, "I gotta have that toilet." Like, there's just they developed this religion that cannot be stopped, and they could make anything. And people like this, I'm not pointing at Jeff. I am not pointing at Jeff. Will rush
I have
out
absolutely zero interest in an Apple Watch.
the
Zero.
day. I know we had a guest on the show that will be there the day they come out. He roots for Apple. Michael Mode. Like,
Yeah, don't point at me. He's a lot worse than I am.
like I root for the Lions, or like some people root for their favorite political party. Like they're rooting. Like he thinks buying them will increase the stock price because he's a shareholder. So I'm helping the company.
Right.
Like you realize their stock price goes up when they lay people off, not when they sell more crap. You're like. But I mean, there's Mac people like it
is a cult.
It's a huge
Absolutely,
religion.
absolutely, it's a cult.
Yeah.
So then we've got one of our favorite topics. We've yacked about this a couple times. Our favorite Yelp people. And so there were 2 folks that went out.
I wish I had a burp on tap out of burp Yelp.
I know. So apparently there were 2 folks that went out and did a Kickstarter to do like an insider behind-the-scenes documentary on Yelp.
Oh.
And nobody gave a shit, as you would expect, until Yelp came out and addressed it. And apparently Yelp is very concerned about this documentary that's going on. And so now it's a thing, and now the Kickstarter has taken off and exceeded its goals. And all this
Because
other
Yelp
nonsense.
is concerned?
Yes,
because now everyone's like,
now
oh,
it's controversial. Why
where
are
there's
they-
smoke, there's fire.
Well, because the an official representative of Yelp went on CNN and C-SPAN and Fox News and that to answer the questions about this documentary. Whereas if they when are people going to learn just to shut the up,
right,
and let things go? Like, because if you just ignore shit, it goes away. It's when you draw attention to it by reacting to it or engaging with it. That's when it matters.
When you're actually creating the controversy.
You learn that when you have a baby. When baby falls, you don't go and run to the baby. You let the thing look around, and you don't care, and it goes,
because they're looking for acknowledgement.
Yeah, so there's no reaction. No, all right, I'm all right.
So if you go,
I'm actually fine.
I can't even do that anymore.
There was a Jack Ryan movie that I think Patriot Games a long
Yes.
time ago.
Yeah.
And you remember that scene? I think it was that movie where the
Clear and Present
president's
Danger.
friend. Oh, that's what it was.
Yep. Yeah, I know.
So the president of the United States friend was
So
like
Ben
implicated
Affleck,
in something.
not Harrison Ford.
No.
Old. I'm sticking with the 80s theme and the Cyndi Lauper music and shit.
Yeah,
sure. So there was a scene where the president's friend was implicated in something, and this whole room is sitting around the Oval Office talking about, like, deny that you ever knew him and all this other stuff. And then Harrison Ford's character is like, if they ask if you're friends, say, no, we're good friends. And if they ask if you're good friends, say, no, we're lifelong friends. He's like, just give them nothing to go on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing. Like, if they would have denied it, then people would have looked at it and said, oh, you guys know each other. But it's like, just there's nothing to talk about, really. If you just go, yep.
Yeah.
Hey, Yelp, I hear
Kinda
they're doing
dismisses
a
it.
movie on you. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard that too.
Anyway.
Cool. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Thanks for the plug.
No need to see
Yeah,
it.
exactly. That'll be fascinating. Thanks.
You know what we forgot to hit on? Our favorite drone from Amazon got approval.
By who?
But not
In Canada.
In Canada.
Canucka is going to have drones
Because there
before
was
us.
so much
In
red. There was,
Canuckistan.
the FAA gave them so much red tape. Canada let them through with a 3-week test.
Is it the CAA?
I could be CACA. I don't know.
CACA?
Right?
Canadian Air Control Authority?
Yes,
CACA?
it's CACA. It's my favorite.
What's
soccer player.
a drone going to hit in Canada? A bunch of pine trees?
They're going to deliver.
Moose?
No, they're going to deliver poutine and Labatt's. I mean, it's to the 13 people that live there.
That's why I said I'm pretty sure the drone delivery service will not be available in remote Saskatchewan.
And if Louis is listening, you're not getting nothing. we have one listener in Canada, my cousin's friend. He likes the show.
one. Yeah.
One. There's only 13 people, so I'm like, oh hell.
There's at least 15. Don't
We got
exaggerate.
8%.
That's right, we have an 8%
pen
market
rate.
share in Canada.
Oh, yeah. You got to be careful.
We're huge in Niagara Falls.
That's right. You wouldn't know her.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you would know the listener in Niagara Falls.
But they're actually gonna deliver, and I didn't see the weight restrictions or the hours or you know what I mean. Like when you are they gonna bring in like that huge box of teepee that I ordered like a month ago?
Maybe.
Like, are they gonna bring just like a 6-pack? Like I don't know what the restrictions are.
I thought when they first announced all this stuff, it was like 25 pounds or something. Yeah. So maybe I don't know. I mean, look, we're just right across the river, right?
Well, dude, so we had the guy from Detroit Drone Co. in here, and he actually made it a point to point us to make sure that we understood that, hypothetically speaking, they make drones that could,
carry a body.
in theory, carry a body.
Sure. Yeah.
I actually asked him as a joke. I'm like, so how many blades would it take? Propellers or whatever to carry? And he's like, we actually make.
Oh,
one of
about
those.
16. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he actually.
Well, he read.
I didn't.
No, he
pulled
answered.
it up. Yeah.
Here's our 10-blade drone.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm like, I didn't think you have an
alrighty
answer
then.
for that.
Yeah.
Will it go all the way to space that I can let it go?
Yeah.
Just got to go over the Detroit
sort
River.
of fire
That's all
it
that
toward the
matters.
sun.
Yeah.
And it
Once
looks
again,
like-
Bob is perplexed by flight.
Then it looks like what's that stupid the Maximilian, the black hole when
He's loved that.
Then he's like we drop all the dead bodies in space and they're just sitting out there floating like
Yeah.
make the astronauts have nightmares. Yeah.
Nice.
That's what it's for.
No, but so speaking of Amazon, we've had this conversation a few times about like non-compete agreements and all that kind of stuff, and I'm a little stunned by this. So Amazon makes their warehouse workers sign an 18-month non-compete agreement.
18-month.
18-month non-compete agreement.
Who would they be competing against?
I Best Buy. I
mean, seriously, like you're working in a warehouse. It's just a fulfillment center. Like, who are they competing?
The only thing that non-competes are worth is if you're like a developer and you have IP.
Well,
or if you're a sales guy and you pull clients.
The P tag.
Well, like maybe they're talking about like the process, like the whole assembly line, like the Kaizen thing for assembly, like processing.
No, it's
efficiency.
I don't know how enforceable a lot of the non-competes are, though, because it's
Not in
pretty
Michigan.
hard.
Unless you knowingly pull a customer.
Right.
The thing is, though,
because we do know someone that happened to.
If you're getting fired, obviously you don't have a lot of spare money laying around, and if they want to tie you up in court, they can pretty much ruin your
more
life.
about the threat.
Oh, absolutely. And some people crap their pants. Some people say, "Well, screw you." Right.
Right.
I knew a guy that never even sold one. Like they were a Dell partner, and they were sold Ecologics, and he never sold one customer. But when he left, he went to an Ecologics partner. The guy threatened to sue him. He's like, "You can't. I can't pull a customer because we never had one." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but it's funny how many people get threatened. I know so many in this town.
Oh,
there's
yeah.
There's a couple of resellers, man. They live by that. They pull your book of business, and then they hold a non-compete over you, and they make you sign it. And we know someone that just went there and he had to sign the non-compete. I shook my head. I'm like, I wish you would never have signed it. Because
I understand not stealing clients, but it just seems like
you got to make a living.
Stop
though. You got to make a living
from working on the craft that they've.
Well,
built.
dude, we had a post about this a while ago that I
wrote
wrote called the lobotomizer. Like, if you read a non-compete, the expectation is, okay, yeah, you can go to work for somebody else, but only if we can shove this giant drill up your nose and basically erase whatever long time you were here out of your memory, and you forget everything that you ever did, ever coded, every line of crap that you wrote. dude, screw you. Like,
Yeah.
that's the
So
entire
that's
point.
cool. I'll just go work at Subway for, until my
Right.
non-compete expires.
Yeah.
And then I'll get back to coding.
Yeah, my
or
analogy
whatever.
is like, dude, that's like your ex-wife getting mad at you because, like, you lost weight, got in shape, and, like, got a hot new chick. Like, it's like, that's... No, you didn't want me anymore. I went someplace else. Kiss my ass.
Those companies hire you to bring in your book of business to begin with. They don't.
From a sales perspective,
From a
yeah.
sales perspective, absolutely.
From a geek perspective, it's because of
Why?
what you've done.
You're
Right.
bringing
High
your
level,
relationships with you. Yeah, that's what it is in sales.
Yeah. And then we're going to hold it against you, kiss my ass.
Exactly. All right, well, hey, we are coming up against the end of the show,
Yeah.
so I want to make sure we double back. So, James, we find Detroit Craftsman's Guild out at?
The easiest place to find us is on the meetup.
Okay, and we'll have a link for that.
Yeah,
'cause
we'll provide a link for that.
There's
That's the easiest
hyphens
place.
and all that kind of, yeah.
Sure. Yeah, nobody wants that. We'll just do a link. It's easier.
Steve, where do we find Solstice Consulting Group?
scg360.com.
And if they want to find your book on Amazon, it's
that's
Amazon.com/exhibidios
Yeah, whole bunch of stuff.
311495. Yeah.
It's the only book out there called Why Technology Recruiting is Broken and What to Do About It. I know it's a long title, but
Because we suck and we haven't written that book. God, we suck.
or any book for that matter.
And then again, so Wednesday, we will be at Firebird Tavern. Be
Upstairs.
there. Upstairs, private room. Should be a good night. Got a lot of RSVPs. I'm not going to lie. It's kind of freaking me out. I'm a little worried about what's going to happen. Who's going to
if 4 people show up, we're going to have a drink and laugh. So, who cares?
Yeah, but that's probably
No
not
cover.
gonna-
We don't say that enough.
Yeah, exactly. No cover charge. No nothing.
No
None of that
speakers.
nonsense. Yeah.
No idiot.
No agenda.
Selling your name. We don't say that enough. We don't say
Right.
that nearly enough.
So, it is what it is. So, this was the IT and the D Show. As always, you can find us out at itandthed.com, out at facebook.com/IT and the D, or on Twitter at IT and the D. We are all things IT and the D because...
We are IT and the D, and you are not and will never be.
And Jimmy, no, there's not going to be a 5th segment.
No.
Kiss my ass.
All right,
See you
guys.
next
Have a
week.
good night. Oh,
Beat
no,
it.
we'll see you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday. Beat it.
The emergency destruct system is now activated.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women.
Long live Flash! You've saved your ass. Have a nice day.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Nice shooting, son. What's your name? Murphy.
Make the run. The run.
Game over, man. Game over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.
I can't say no, and I don't really want to, so.
Well, especially with the back doors open.
Yo! Hold up! Time out! Time out! Y'all take a chill. You need to cool that shit out. And that's the double truth, Ruth.
Bob loves it in the can.
I hope this was as much fun for you as it was for me.
That's why I like it in the can.
Joe on the truth.
Bear me.
My job is to make sure this program is morally upright and cultural and wholesome.
Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy! Shut up, Mimsy!
Why would Buick put their cars next to the Bentleys? Why? That's not marketing.
The alphabet.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, I can't take that position.
That analogy sucks because it's right.
Because you're getting your 8-track tuned up.
Are we at a break yet? Yeah, so now I'm just doing stupid stuff to make me laugh.
Venture capital is not the end game.
When are we going to talk about me?
Jane, you ignorant slut.
It's my show. I can say what I want.
Kiss my ass, go home, unplug, get off the goddamn internet. You are everything that is wrong with the internet right now.
You're so white right now.
I'm the whitest guy in the room. Just explain it to me.
I love this city.
I was banging on the wang.
Really? Should we talk about this? Tag team it. Should I keep going or should I stop?
Can
can I just say, it's been great being on a show that talks about Mickey Rooney dying for 20 seconds and then poop for 10 minutes.
This is a previously recorded episode of the IT and the D Show.